Hey everyone, welcome back to the course. In the previous video, we have talked about how we can set up the Jenkins pipeline with the help of SFDX and we have deployed to the production environment. This time we are going to deploy the same project to the Sandbox environment. So how we can do that? For this, these are the steps that we need to follow. The very first step is we need to create a connected application inside our target Sandbox environment where we wanted to deploy the changes with the help of the same key, the same certificate file that we have already used for our production environment. Then we have to add the environment variables inside our Windows machine, the way that we did for the previous thing. And then we need to modify the Jenkins files to refer the newly created environment variable. So let's do this. For connected application, I have already created a connected application over here inside the Sandbox environment, which is developer 1. So the process is same that you have already followed. That is why I'm not again following the process. And I have noted down this consumer key inside the notepad, which is here. So this is for consumer key for Sandbox 1. These are the variables that we are going to create: hub org underscore sb host, which is going to have the value for test.salesforce.com, and then we are going to have a value of consumer key, which is going to be the same value that we have here. Okay, so let's quickly add these variables. Search for environment variables, and then we will add the variable over here. So we'll go to the environment variables. Under system variable, first thing that we will add is hub org sb, which is for Sandbox, and then provide the username over here. We got this. Next variable is hub host sb for Sandbox. We'll add that. We'll provide the value for test.salesforce.com. We'll provide the value test.salesforce.com. So we'll just paste it over here. Okay, and then we have got the consumer key. So we will add that consumer key as well. So here is our consumer key. Now we have added these values: consumer key, our username and password. We need to restart our PC in order to get these variables reflected. So before we start, let's quickly make the changes to our Jenkins files and then we will restart our PC. So we'll get back to our project, which is this Eurodemon project. What you need to do is you just go ahead and fork this. So once you will fork this project, it will be under your repository, under your name, and then you can edit the file. Otherwise, you will not be able to edit the file. Okay. The very first thing is that we need to change the hub org. Okay. So we'll say hub org sb. So we'll just copy paste over here. Okay. Next thing is that we need to change the host. So we'll say that host SB for the Sandbox. JWT credential key is going to be the same because we are using the same key, but we will change the consumer key and let the other variables as it is so that we don't need to make changes anywhere else. And if you go down here, remember for running the test cases, we have commented out that line. So we'll say that test status equal to, this is going to run the batch file for Windows. Okay, and then we can print those as well. So these are the modifications in the Jenkins files that we need to do. I've already removed the polling for every 5 minutes from the previous project, so it will not poll. And then go ahead and click on commit changes. Okay, so we have made the changes into our Jenkins files. Now, as we know, the variables will only get reflected if we restart the PC. Let's quickly restart our PC and then we will see the new project inside Jenkins. So I have restarted my PC. Now we will go ahead, create a new project. This time we will say deploy to Sandbox. Okay, deploy to Sandbox. Select pipeline and then go ahead and click on OK. So we have got our new project, which is built on top of our SFDX. Okay, we'll go ahead, copy the URL of GitHub project. That is what we are doing. Provide the URL for GitHub project. We are not going to build any trigger for now. Pipeline from SCM, it is going to be GIT. And once we selected git, we need to select the repository URL. It is a public repo. This time I will not select any credentials. We have got this Jenkins files, and then we will go ahead and apply, save it. So we did nothing, we just created the variables. We have replaced those variables inside our Jenkins files, then created a new project for the Sandbox environment with the help of, we are using the same branch, we're not using any other branch for now, but in your case the branch will be different, right? You have got Sandbox, so if you see, go to the project, and if you see the masters, I have got multiple branches like dev, integration, QA. So for the Sandbox, instead of referring master, you will be referring dev, integration, or QA. Okay, this is the basically requirement for deploying our changes to Sandbox to have the different branches. Now you see here the very first stage, which is for checking out the source code, is running, and this has been successfully processed. So our next stage will process now, which is authorize DevOps org. So we will see if we are successfully able to authorize it or not. I'm going to switch it to the console view so that we can see if there is any error, or we can also see the console logs that we have put over there. So now you can see we are still in the authorize org, and you see here our username has been changed to dev sandbox, and this is the key for our dev sandbox. So we have got JWT key file, and we'll see if we are able to successfully authorize or not. Now you can see here we got the message successfully authorized with the our username and our org ID. You see here we got 0. If there is any error, we'll get something else. We'll get some string, and we can have those error populated, and we can break down our pipeline from having the next stage to be executed. Now you can see here we got the message for from the deployment over here. We got saying that it is saying okay, Apex classes we were able to deploy successfully, and then we have got lightning component bundle as well. We've got some, again we have got lightning component bundle, then we have got contact object, it is containing few custom fields, then we have got permission set, again lightning component bundle, static resource. So these are all we were able to successfully deploy. And now as we have put a wait for 60 seconds, it will wait for the 60 seconds, and then it will again check the validation, not validation, it will again check the deployment, and then after it will process to other system, not system, to the stages. Now if you see, we are able to import the contact and account records into the system. We are also able to assign the permission set to the user, which is our Sandbox username, and the permission set is same which we have talked about. And again it is trying to run some other command, which is I believe for running the local test cases. So you can see here it is saying run local test, and these are the local test cases, these are the results, and now it will run open target org. Okay, so as soon as it will execute that command, we will be able to see our org is opening automatically. So you can see here we have been redirected to the different window in the same browser, and if you go here, go get back to your pipeline, you will see that it is giving us a success result. And if you see here, you are inside Sandbox, you have got multiple contacts. Let's say that we can open any of those contacts called Anup Gupta. We can open that here, VP of products, and some contacts we've got. If you wanted to check the classes, what classes you have deployed, so you can just go there. Even in the quick find box, you will find like this is the class, this is a controller class, this is a picture custom field, we have got some logos. So we can go there and then say it is for contact controller, which is returning some contact records and having one or two methods. So you see here we've got this, and when it was created on 20th of June. Okay, so that is how you can deploy either to Sandbox or to your production environment using a SFDX pipeline. And it is again using some certificate keys, so it is a secure way to deploy. And you can also have some webhooks inside your GitHub environment to to execute your pipeline without having any sort of manual intervention. For now, we are manually building, or we are trying to having some cron expression, but we can use webhooks. We will see into the coming videos. So this is it for this video, and thank you for your time. And in the next video, we'll talk about some other DevOps tool where we can implement CI/CD.